Brothers and sisters in the faith, at 3 a.m. yesterday, the bells of the Basilica of Our Lady of Aparecida rang on their own. There was no wind, no one near the bell tower, yet they sounded for exactly 7 minutes, awakening the entire city with a sound many described as heavenly. What you might not know is that this event was not isolated. For 3 months, the Vatican has been secretly investigating a series of supernatural occurrences, shaking the foundations of faith around the world. Yesterday, for the first time in decades, the Holy See officially confirmed, a miracle happened in Aparecida, and its impacts go far beyond what you can imagine. If you are reading this, it is no coincidence. Your soul recognized something sacred in these words. Share a word of faith in the comments that reflects what your heart feels right now. This word will become part of a powerful spiritual chain connecting us all. The confirmation came through a sealed document signed by the Pope himself, remaining secret until this morning. For 3 months, a commission of the world's leading theologians, doctors, and scientists analyzed evidence challenging everything we know about the border between the divine and the human. Their findings not only prove the existence of the supernatural, but show that we live in prophetic times, with heaven sending signs to those who are receptive. Every tear shed in prayer, every whispered request at dawn, every desperate moment when you cried out for a sign, has been heard. Now, through this confirmed miracle, you are receiving the answer you have waited for. However, there is something more unsettling. Investigators found this is not an isolated case. It is the first in a series of events happening worldwide, all tied by an unseen thread hinting at a greater thing to come. Maria Santos was 34 when her life collapsed, terminal cancer, 2 young children, a husband out of work, and hospital debt growing like a mountain of despair. Doctors gave her 2 or 3 weeks, but she didn't count on luck, she counted on something far stronger. On May 15th, she was brought to the Basilica of Aparecida by her family, with faith more like a final hope than certainty. What occurred then changed her life and is changing the course of humanity. Are you here by chance? Among millions of messages, something divine guided you here. Share in the comments a word of faith that expresses your connection to the sacred right now. Together, we will form a collective prayer rising straight to the heavens. At 3:47 p.m. on that day, Maria stood before the statue of Our Lady of Aparecida, when something remarkable happened. Witnesses say a soft light shone from the statue, not ordinary light, but a glow coming from within, illuminating hearts before lighting up the surroundings. Maria felt a warmth spread through her body, starting at her feet and rising like a current of divine healing. At that very moment, her hospital tests began showing incredible changes. Tumors present for months vanished. Metastases spreading through her body disappeared without a trace. Her blood, once ravaged by disease, became purer than that of a newborn. In 7 minutes, Maria went from dying to fully healed. The miracle did not end there. In the days afterward, over 200 people at the Basilica reported spontaneous healing from conditions ranging from chronic illness to cerebral palsy. The Vatican had no choice but to investigate. What their investigators found is chilling and ignites the spirit. When the commission of scientists arrived, they brought equipment to measure energy, radiation, magnetic fields, and phenomena beyond current scientific understanding. For 72 hours, they monitored every corner of the basilica, every vibration, every whisper of the wind. Their findings challenge our understanding of physical reality. The statue of Our Lady of Aparecida emits an energy frequency unmatched anywhere on Earth. Stop now and feel your heart. It is beating differently, isn't it? This is your soul recognizing the truth. Write in the comments the first word of faith that comes to mind. Don't think, just feel and write. This word is no coincidence. It is your soul speaking. Dr. Alessandro Martinelli, a quantum physicist at the University of Rome and commission member, said in an exclusive interview, "In 30 years, I have never seen anything like this." The statue emits waves perfectly synchronized with brain frequencies linked to healing, peace, and spiritual growth. It's as if it were a divine transmitter, sending healing signals directly into human DNA. Most disturbing, the waves grow stronger and more transformative each day. Scientists and Vatican investigators have reported remarkable phenomena linked to the Basilica of Our Lady of Aparecida. Regular visitors to the basilica are said to be developing what researchers call a divine immunity, marked by greater resistance to disease, emotional balance, and stronger spiritual connection. This transformation is believed to be a result of the statue's unique energy frequency, which some experts suggest might even influence human genetic code in preparation for a significant future event. The divide between those who embrace this spiritual transformation and those who resist it is becoming increasingly apparent. Those who open their hearts experience healing and growth, while skeptics face growing despair and illness. This supports the Vatican's conclusion that the statue is more than a sacred image. It acts as a portal connecting the divine and human dimensions, amplifying the power of prayer and spiritual communion. An especially profound sign of this spiritual movement emerged 3 weeks after the official confirmation of the miracle. Children worldwide, particularly ages 3 to 7, began dreaming of a lady dressed in blue, who delivers a message urging adults to heal the earth and recognizing them as the chosen ones. Documented in over 3,000 cases across 47 countries, these children, many unfamiliar with Aparecida or its traditions, describe the basilica and statue with surprising detail. One striking example is little Sophia from Berlin, who woke speaking fluent Portuguese and reciting prayers unknown to her atheist parents. Her knowledge of the statue's history amazed psychologists and defied scientific explanation. The Vatican has revealed that the statue is composed of clay containing meteorite minerals not found naturally on Earth, reinforcing its otherworldly nature. This evidence and ongoing phenomena indicate that the statue is not merely a religious artifact, but a medium for a divine presence working through quantum-level energy frequencies. These frequencies synchronize with human brain waves during prayer, producing a state termed quantum communion with the divine, where miracles become a natural occurrence. While many are drawn to this sacred energy and experience healing and spiritual renewal, those who approach with skepticism or closed hearts may face spiritual turmoil. Some skeptics reportedly left Aparecida with an unexplained restlessness and a deep longing for transcendence. Historical Vatican documents reveal ancient prophecies, such as one from 1531 by Juan Diego, after the apparitions of Our Lady of Guadalupe, foretelling the appearance of a Brazilian sister who would emerge in desperate times to heal through the faith of the simple-hearted. In summary, the ongoing investigations and phenomena at the Basilica of Our Lady of Aparecida present a profound spiritual and scientific mystery. They suggest a transformative divine action intersecting with human life at the quantum level, challenging existing understandings of reality and faith, and pointing toward a pivotal moment in human spiritual destiny. If you feel a connection to this message, sharing a word of faith in the comments is encouraged, joining a collective spiritual current that unites hearts worldwide. The similarities between the two appearances are not a coincidence. They are part of a divine plan spanning centuries, linking Latin America into a spiritual network that is now coming alive before your eyes. Pause for a moment and listen to your heart. Is it beating differently? This is the recognition of your soul. Write in the comments the first word of faith that comes to mind. Don't think, just feel and write. That word is no coincidence, it is your soul speaking. Father Miguel Santana, a Jesuit historian specializing in Marian apparitions, dedicated 2 years to translating ancient manuscripts written in natal and uncovered prophecies that send chills down the spine. Juan Diego wrote about visions shown to him by Our Lady about the future. He saw a tropical nation where the apparition would manifest through a small, dark image, retrieved from the waters by simple fishermen. This image would become the source of miracles so powerful that the whole world would turn its gaze toward it. But the prophecy does not end there. The documents predict a moment when the faith of Brazilians will awaken the sleeping faith of all nations, and through Mother Aparecida, Brazil will become the spiritual heart of the planet. Recent archaeological discoveries in Aparecida have revealed that the site where the basilica stands was considered sacred by the indigenous people long before the Portuguese arrived. They called the area Ibipara, meaning blessed land, where spirits communicated with humans, as though God had chosen that place from the beginning as a junction between heaven and earth. Now, at this crucial moment in human history, when hope is most needed, that portal has opened wide. Those who accept this truth and connect with its energy are being prepared for a new era, while those who resist and choose blindness are isolating themselves from a transformation that might be the last chance for their soul's salvation. The most astonishing phenomenon discovered by the Vatican Commission was described as ecotemporal. Advanced technology detected that prayers uttered in the Basilica of Aparecida are not confined to the present moment, but generate ripples across time, sending healing effects into the past and future of sincere believers. Scientists have confirmed cases of people who, after praying intensely at the Basilica, found that childhood traumas were mysteriously healed in their memories, and dormant dreams, buried by time, revived with fresh energy in their hearts. If you have reached this message, it is no accident. Your soul has identified something sacred in these words. Share a word of faith in the comments that reflects your heart's feelings right now. This word will become part of a potent spiritual current that links all of us. Roberto Fernandez, a 45-year-old engineer, came to Aparecida bearing a decades-old pain. At age 12, he had lost his mother in a car accident and struggled with irrational guilt, believing he was responsible. During his prayer at the basilica, he had a vivid vision of his mother, clearer than any memory, delivering a message of unconditional love, assuring him there was no guilt, and that she was at peace, always watching over him from the beyond. Upon returning home, Roberto found a letter from his mother that no one knew existed. Its handwriting, words, and scent were all exactly as he remembered. The letter expressed her eternal love and reassured him not to blame himself. Further investigation revealed that the house had been searched many times after the funeral, and no letter was ever found. This letter appeared as if materialized from nothing, or perhaps from the eternal love of a mother who used the sacred energy of Aparecida to bridge life and death. Roberto is not alone. Hundreds of similar reports arrive daily at the Vatican, demonstrating a force operating beyond all known physical laws. The most unsettling truth from the investigations is that the miracle of Aparecida is not isolated. A global network of spiritual energy is forming, connecting sacred sites in an invisible web of divine power. NASA satellites have detected electromagnetic anomalies forming perfect lines linking Aparecida with Fatima, Lourdes, the Mount of Olives, Guadalupe, and many other Marian shrines. These energy lines pulse in perfect harmony, as if the entire planet is being prepared for a monumental event about to unfold. Are you here by chance? Among millions of messages, something divine has guided you to this one. Share a word of faith in the comments that expresses your connection to the sacred at this moment. Together, we will create a collective prayer rising straight to the heavens. Scientists and Vatican investigators, including Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a geophysicist from Oxford, have uncovered that Earth itself is undergoing a profound energetic transformation. The tectonic plates are shifting in patterns, forming a perfect sacred geometry, with Aparecida at its center. This suggests the planet is aligning to receive a massive spiritual energy discharge. Reports of people worldwide having identical dreams of walking toward a golden light in central Brazil are increasing, accompanied by a surge in travel interest to Aparecida, even from regions previously unfamiliar with Marian devotion. It appears as though the Earth is calling its children home for a critical gathering to shape humanity's future. Those who ignore this call report growing unease and a fear of missing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. A phenomenon called spiritual selection is unfolding in real time at Aparecida. Visitors with open hearts not only receive healing, but also begin to develop spiritual abilities once considered mystical, including prophetic visions, healing through touch, and knowing details about strangers. It is as if proximity to this sacred place awakens dormant divine capacities in human DNA. However, those who approach with ill intentions or hardened hearts leave with a spiritual mark that makes them vulnerable to hidden, darker forces. Ana Claudia Martinez, a clinical psychologist and initial skeptic, came to Aparecida to study what she thought was mass autosuggestion. Instead, during prayer, she experienced a vivid vision of the future suffering of people in the basilica and learned how to help them with precise words of comfort. In only 4 hours, she changed the lives of many, from preventing suicide to inspiring hope in addicts, describing herself as a channel of divine healing forever transformed by the experience. Yet, not all transformations are positive. Those with commercial motives exploiting faith have developed mysterious psychological disorders involving feelings of constant surveillance and uncontrollable panic when attempting dishonesty. The most astonishing discovery involves documented cases of people declared clinically brain dead for over an hour who were brought back to life after prayers in Aparecida. These are not near-death experiences, but full resurrections, challenging the medical community's understanding of life and death boundaries. The number of such cases is growing rapidly. If you feel a connection to this message, it suggests your soul recognizes something sacred. Share a word of faith in the comments representing your current feelings. This word will become part of a powerful spiritual current uniting many around the world. The most documented case is that of Pedro Enrique Silva, 28, who suffered a motorcycle accident and was declared dead after 2 hours of resuscitation attempts at the Hospital das Clínicas in São Paulo. His mother, Conceição Silva, refused to accept his diagnosis and begged the doctors to keep his body on life support while she hurried to Aparecida. For 7 hours, she prayed without stopping before the image of Our Lady, pleading for her son's life with such intensity that it moved everyone present. At 11:47 p.m., just as Conceição finished her last prayer before returning to São Paulo, Pedro's heart monitors began recording activity. The doctors, astonished, ran every possible test. The brain that had shown no electrical activity for more than 8 hours resumed normal function. The heart that had completely stopped started beating again, with the vigor of a young athlete. Remarkably, Pedro woke with memories of an experience that chills the soul. While he was clinically dead, he says he spoke with Our Lady of Aparecida, who revealed visions of humanity's future and gave him a specific mission. She told him it was not yet his time, that he had people to heal and souls to awaken. With tears in his eyes, Pedro said, "She showed me that death is just an illusion, that true life is eternal and indestructible." Since then, Pedro has gained the ability to touch the sick and dramatically speed their healing, perplexing doctors who study him with results that defy all medical protocols. But Pedro warns, this resurrection was not just a personal miracle. It is a sign that we are entering an era in which natural laws are being rewritten by divine power. Those who do not align with this transformation may find themselves on the wrong side of a new emerging reality. What you are about to discover will challenge your faith and reshape your understanding of Brazil's role in God's plan for humanity. Recent Vatican documents reveal that the Catholic Church holds secret prophecies dating back to the 10th century that uncannily describe the events unfolding now in Aparecida. These prophecies, known only to the Pope's inner circle, speak of a time when Brazil will become the altar of the world, and through it, humanity will find its way back to God. Most concerning are the prophesied descriptions not only of miracles, but also of the global consequences they will bring, some of which are already beginning to show in ways that will deeply move you. Are you here by chance? Among millions of messages, something divine has brought you to this one. Share a word of faith in the comments that represents your connection to the sacred at this moment. Together, we will create a collective prayer rising straight to the heavens. One of the most impressive documents is a sealed letter from Father Antonio Vieira in 1656, in which he recounts a vision about Brazil's spiritual future. He described a blessed land where a small, dark image of the Mother of God would be retrieved from the waters by simple men. This image would become the source of miracles so powerful that kings and presidents would bow before it. Multitudes from every nation would journey to this tropical land seeking the healing their countries could no longer provide. But the most chilling part of the prophecy reads, "I also saw that those who rejected this divine manifestation would be abandoned to their fate, and their nations would plunge into chaos, violence, and spiritual despair." Looking at the world today, it is clear that countries which historically mocked or ignored Brazilian religious expressions are facing unprecedented crises: widespread depression, rampant urban violence, youth suicide epidemics, and the collapse of family values. Meanwhile, people from these nations find their only experiences of peace and healing when they connect, even from afar, with the spiritual energy coming from Aparecida. Government statistics, often hidden from the public, show that countries with higher rates of Marian devotion experience lower crime rates, stronger social cohesion, and populations with greater emotional resilience. This is no coincidence. It reflects a collective choice each nation is making right now, to accept or reject the divine call emanating from the heart of Brazil. That window of time is closing quickly. We have reached the most critical moment in this revelation, the threshold that will determine whether your life continues as before or is completely transformed by the truth you have just discovered. The Vatican did not confirm this miracle simply from theological interest, or to add a new case to church records. This confirmation is an urgent call, a sign that we live in the final moments of one era, and the first moments of a new spiritual reality emerging throughout Brazil. Everyone who hears this message must decide, will you join this transformation, or be left behind as the door closes? Pause now and sense your heart. It beats differently, doesn't it? This is your soul recognizing the truth. Write in the comments the first word of faith that comes to your mind. Don't think, just feel and write. This word is no coincidence, it is your soul speaking. Vatican investigators have discovered, and now reveal to the world, that the miracle of Aparecida was not an isolated event. It was the opening movement of a divine symphony, destined to culminate in an unprecedented planetary transformation. We are witnessing a profound spiritual moment. Every tear of faith shed before the image of Our Lady of Aparecida, every sincere prayer lifted to heaven, and every heart that opens to receive grace is contributing to a critical mass of spiritual energy. This energy is nearing a tipping point, just months, perhaps weeks away, where irreversible changes in global human consciousness will begin. When that moment arrives, humanity will split into two groups: those who have prepared themselves spiritually for this transformation, and those caught unprepared. Do not let skepticism, fear, or spiritual inertia rob you of this unparalleled opportunity to participate in one of the greatest spiritual events in history. Your soul has already recognized the truth in these words. That is why you were led here. Something within you resonates deeply, like a celestial tuning fork vibrating in harmony with this message. Our Lady of Aparecida is not merely healing individual bodies and souls. She is healing humanity itself, readying us for a future where the divine and human merge seamlessly. In that future, miracles will become as common as the sunrise, and every person will awaken to their true identity as a child of God. Yet this transformation requires your conscious participation, your active faith, and a heart fully open to receive the blessings being poured forth from heaven. The time to hesitate is over. The time to choose is now. The decision you make in this sacred moment will echo throughout eternity. What you are about to learn will challenge everything you thought you understood about Brazil's destiny and its pivotal role in global salvation. Leaked internal Vatican documents reveal that Pope Francis has been meeting weekly with a special commission of Brazilian cardinals. Their focus is not on routine church affairs, but on analyzing reports connected to what they call Operation Mother Aparecida, a divine plan positioning Brazil as the epicenter of a spiritual revolution that will reshape the world's religious landscape. This plan has been dormant for over 500 years, waiting for the precise moment when humanity was most lost and desperate, a moment that is now upon us. If you have arrived here, it is no accident. Your soul has recognized the sacred in these words. Share in the comments a word of faith that reflects what your heart is feeling now. This word will become part of a powerful spiritual current connecting all of us. Anonymous sources reveal that the Pope possesses a world map marked with glowing points representing locations where miracles akin to Aparecida's are emerging. These points form an energetic web converging on Brazil, confirming that our nation is not only the cradle of Catholicism in Latin America, but the very heart of planetary spiritual renewal. Even initially skeptical European cardinals report unusual phenomena in their churches after forging coordinated spiritual connections with Aparecida through prayer. In France, a replica of Our Lady of Aparecida has begun shedding real tears that reportedly cure eye diseases. In Ireland, children attending an exhibition about Brazilian saints have started speaking fluent Portuguese in their sleep. In Poland, a church housing a small statue from Aparecida maintains an interior temperature defying the laws of thermodynamics, remaining warm even in the harshest winters. The Pope understands that these signs are not random. They follow a prophetic sequence described in ancient manuscripts kept by the Church for centuries. These manuscripts predict a final event set to occur in Brazil in the coming weeks. An event that will compel every person on the planet to make an eternal choice. Those unprepared spiritually for this defining moment may find themselves too late to change paths. The most unsettling revelation comes from a powerful source that challenges conventional understanding of life, death, and spiritual communication. 3 Catholic mediums from different continents, with no interaction among them, simultaneously received the same message in perfect Brazilian Portuguese, though none had ever learned the language. The message came from deceased Brazilian saints who have been summoned by Our Lady of Aparecida to form a heavenly army dedicated to protecting spiritually all who embrace this transformation. Most alarming is the warning that those who resist will not only forego spiritual growth, but will stand in direct opposition to these divine forces mobilized for this sacred mission. Are you here by coincidence? Among millions of messages, something divine has guided you to this one. Share a word of faith in the comments that expresses your connection to the sacred right now. Together, we will create a collective prayer rising straight to the heavens. The accounts of these mediums, Marie de Boer in France, James Patterson in New York, and Sarah Wainwright in Sydney, point to a coordinated spiritual awakening tied to the divine mission of Our Lady of Aparecida. Despite their different backgrounds and locations, each received a message from a Brazilian saint instructing them about a heavenly mission to protect and guide those open to the coming transformation. This mission involves forming spiritual battalions to open supernatural pathways, allowing Aparecida's powerful energy to reach every part of the world. If you feel drawn inexplicably to Brazil, have dreams of its tropical landscapes without visiting, or are deeply moved by the Portuguese language, these are signs that you have been chosen, even before birth, to take part in this divine plan. Ignoring these calls is not merely a personal choice. It places you in opposition to powerful heavenly forces that can influence your life in profound ways. This is not a threat, but a loving warning about the consequences of resisting the divine purpose. The revelation reaches its peak with the Vatican's recent disclosure of a private apparition Our Lady of Aparecida had with Pope Francis 40 days ago. In this moment, she conveyed a warning and a message of hope. The earth is about to undergo a global spiritual purification, testing each soul's choice between embracing divine love or succumbing to human selfishness. Brazil stands at the center of this purification, radiating spiritual energy that will protect and uplift those aligned with it. While those who resist may face deep spiritual loneliness, no earthly pleasure can ease. Pause now and sense your heart. Is it beating differently? That is your soul recognizing the truth within these words. Write in the comments the first word of faith that comes to you. Don't overthink it. Simply feel and write. That word is your soul speaking. The message Our Lady gave the Pope remains secret, shared only among his closest cardinals because of its profound impact and urgency. She said, "My son, humanity must now choose between two futures, one where the divine and human walk together in harmony, and one where humanity isolates itself from God and faces the consequences of this separation. Through Brazil, I offer the final opportunity for conscious choice. Those who answer my call will enter a new era of peace, spiritual abundance, and daily miracles. Those who harden their hearts will find themselves cut off from the source of true joy." Pope Francis has been deeply moved by this revelation, often moved to tears of both joy and urgency during private prayers, joy that God has not abandoned humanity, and urgency because time to choose is running out. Sources close to the Vatican reveal the Pope is preparing a groundbreaking encyclical that will officially recognize Brazil as a chosen land for the end times, a declaration destined to redefine Brazil's place on the global spiritual stage forever. However, you do not need to wait for this document to make your choice. This moment itself is your unique opportunity to align with the transformative energy flowing from Aparecida. Your presence here now is no accident. It is your divine summons to participate in what may be Earth's greatest spiritual transformation. The question that will echo through eternity is, will you answer this call, or let this chance pass by? Your soul already knows the answer. It is speaking loudly within you, urging you not to ignore it again. The time for hesitation is over. Your decision will shape not only your eternal destiny, but the legacy you leave behind for future generations. Our Lady of Aparecida is waiting for you. Heaven is waiting for you, And your own soul is waiting for you to finally say yes to the love that has always been there, patiently waiting for your embrace.